Alright folks, here we go. The Horde has found where we live, and they are not happy. So everyone got healed up. We got our barriers done. And because of that, everyone's feeling fantastic, which is good. Because here we go, the ultimate showdown. Oh, this runs like ass on any computer you have, even if it's a quantum computer, so bear with me, folks. Whoa, god damn it, Ed. We need to get, Ben, we need to get down there with Ed right now. There he is. There's our Zombolt. And here they come, Ed. Here they, whoa, buddy. Whoa, right into a wall. Breaks his neck in one fail motion. One smooth motion, I mean. I whip around, taking them from all sides. Dunces. Putting 5.56 through all of them. And then some newcomers come to the challenge. And I definitely dodge out of the way of that football. And here it comes again, I'm sure. And I'm almost out of stamina. Need to hold back. We got some mill zombies trying to break in there. Ed, keep an eye on them. There you go, Ed. Fantastic work. Alright, these guys are going to be a problem in just a moment, but we'll let them break down the door on their own. Oh, a few more pop through the fence. I got them done, so you don't worry about them. Go forward this way so we can concentrate on the guys behind me. I don't want to get shot by them, and I don't want him getting shot by them. Oh, here comes some zombies. Oh, the night is beautiful. The nice red moon's out. The tension's so thick that you could cut it with a crowbar. And I do. Yep, they're still trapped in there. They're breaking it down, though, eventually. I'll keep an eye on this side. Try to catch my breath while the limbs twitch, fresh off the zombies. Okay, he's shooting. Oh, God. Okay, let's pay attention down here again. Almost got shot in the back. He didn't even care about Ed. Alright, they're jumping off and hurting their legs. Oh, you got that, Ed. You don't even need my help. We already got tributes to the fallen zombies here. No one up there. Alright, just wanted to make sure there were no more mill zombies. See some more there, Ed? He's really just a goddamn killing machine with that. Oh, yeah. Looking fantastic. Oh, here comes some more. We're going to have to head upstairs and check on everybody in a moment. Come here. Oh, okay. Ed's got you sorted already. Ed, do you think you can hold yourself down here for a little bit? I'm going to check on the others. Don't you die on me, sir. I expect to come back and see you. I hear all the footsteps upstairs. Sounds fantastic. Because I know I'm going to get more blood on red. Jesus Christ. And that thing is still intact. Even though they're beating on that door. Oh my God, look at this. They busted the doors off the hinges up here already. Alright, let's see how close they're getting. Hey everybody, that one doesn't even have a head! That's cheating! Cheating! That one doesn't have a body! Cheating! 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 Okay, they breached the upstairs. That one doesn't have a head either. That one doesn't have anything. Hey, everybody. Oh, taking shots. Oh, look at you phasing through the wall like an asshole. I think I'm gonna avoid him, folks, and try to catch my breath. Then 77, I'm fine. It's just a flesh wound. Oh, I trapped myself. Just a little bit, though. I don't hear Ed shooting, so he must be alright. No, don't go out there yet. It's a bad idea. Maybe after I've recovered some staminas. I'll distract him so the guys upstairs can have a breather. Don't even know I'm down here. Other than the thump my crowbar against zombie flesh. Or maybe zombie skulls. Get a good sound out of them, actually. Let's hold back. Yep, I'm in the break room right now. Oh my god, look at this frame rate. So beautiful. Alright, let's go check on everybody. I think I can make it up there. Hey guys. How y'all doing? Thanks for coming out tonight, even though you don't have any bodies. She's Rayman over there. Oh, look at that. A policeman without legs. Ow, and he shot me, you little cheating whore. Guys, come on. I'm down to 44, thanks to that little rascal. Okay, let's thin their number a bit. Come on. Bite the big one. Bite it. Bite it. Well, looks like Ed's still doing good. That's awesome. You guys didn't even make it through that door yet, did you? You silly bastards. You and your nobody. Frickin' Rayman. Get out of here. I can't touch her. There we go. Alright, I'm just gonna sit here for a moment and catch my breath while everyone just shows on up. Step right up, folks. Here we have Ben Riley. He's ready to sort your shit out with his crowbar as usual. Oh yeah, feeling good. Feeling the burn. Losing weight with Ben Riley. The crowbar program. Can you please die already? Put a hurtin' on you. A hurtin', I dare say. Alright, let's catch a breath. See, everyone doing alright? Let's take a look up here. Yep, everyone's doing fine, even Ed. Let's go ahead and turn that back. So I can keep an eye on Ed and control him if I need be. Or need to. Alright. I think I might bring Ed up here if I can. Look at all you. Aren't you just all three stooges? Look at all of you. Yes, yes you are. There's just a mess of you down there. See if I can take out a few of them. Actually, let's sit back for a second. I'm not fully charged. They just keep coming. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Out of the way, knucklehead. There we go. They can't touch me from this angle, I think. They're trying to, though. Yeah! There's just body parts flying down these stairs. Oh my god, it's glorious! Glorious, I say. Getting tired here. Policeman head just flew over my shoulder. Feels fantastic. Just heads flying everywhere, folks, and I'm almost too tired to go on. So let's pull it back. Pull it back, let some of these guys get stuck. I'm gonna take you down, sir. Whip you right in the ass with this. Come on. Come on, you. Saucy bastard. There you go. Oh, well. Again, let's take a break. Ed's just chilling down there, having a good time. These guys actually might make it up the stairs sometime this century. No? Alright. My chest is bleeding like crazy. It's got a 38 slug in it. From that stupid policeman from earlier. Come on, stamina, get there. Okay, let's start whacking them down. Oh my gosh. There we go. Nope. I'm afraid not, Mr. Trucker. This is not where you're gonna get your pit pills. I'm gonna take you all on. That's right. Red's night is tonight. Ed already had his turn. Now it's time for me. Yeah, I need to figure out how to get Ed up here. Getting tired. Let's pull it on back. Couple of you made it up here this time, huh? Oh my gosh, here they all come. Now I've lessened their number, they can actually figure out how to get around each other. Go. Swing one, swing two, swing one, swing two, and breathe, and breathe, and swing, and breathe. Oh yeah. Just feel that weight healing off you, folks. I know I'm making someone lose weight tonight, that's for sure. It's you, isn't it? With your ID. Uh-oh, here comes some more. Oh my god, this guy's on a freaking roller coaster over here and he's... Oh, now he's dead. What a shame. What a mess. Oh my god, I'm in a little bit of trouble here, folks. There's too many things. And I'm taking some more scratches. And I'm dishing out my own scratches. Pull it back. Pull it back. Yes. Yes. Love the sight of those limbs careening through the air. Makes me... Oh, Jesus. Look at all you. Aren't you pretty? Let me fix you up pretty like. Yeah, that's right. Ed, you still doing all right down there? Got him on a CB radio. He's doing just fine, folks. Oh, Jesus, I'm down to 27. Will Ben survive tonight? Alright, let's peel it back a little bit. Taking a lot of risks that I don't need to take. Alright. Whoa, Jesus, no. Okay, didn't kill me. Good. I got a little frightened on that one. Come on, Ben, get up. Get up, Ben. Ben. I'm stuck. I'm stuck on my back. It's up to you, folks. There they go. Good work, people. Let's give them a show. I could have Lillian go and heal me, but you know what? I don't care. We're just gonna keep going for it. Oh my goodness. You guys having fun? I know I am. I say bleeding from the chest. Oh yeah. Love to feel the gibs raining down upon me. That one's still alive down there. Here we... Oh, Jesus. I don't like the look of that. There's a mill zombie back there. And he's trying to kill me. Okay, they might be able to get a shot at him now. Okay, here we go. We're alright. Look at all you. Yes. Bloody brilliant tonight. Everyone's getting their swings on. Don't you shoot at me, you son of a bitch. I don't think I can sex my way around here. I'm gonna have to go down and get him, aren't I? Don't worry about these guys none, folks. Dodging bullets, dodging bullets. Don't kill me, don't kill me, don't kill me. Please don't kill me. There's a head miss. Gotta go for it. Yeah, bitch. Oh, jumped on his face and I'm hacking him down. Yeah. I fear nothing. I am Ben Riley. Master of Crowbar Foo. Let's head back upstairs. There you go, folks. There we go. Oh no! Took a little misstep, that little fella. I'm sure everyone's doing fantastically, aren't they? So I like to see everybody feeling good. Oh, that one's not dead yet. Well, let's fix that. There we go. Good work, people. I'm knee-deep in corpses. Feels good. There must be some stragglers out there. Let me catch my breath and we'll go find them. That was awesome. Very good night for a fight. Hey, there you are. You want to fight some? Come on. Sit down. Take that name tag right off your shirt, man. Alright, I hear somebody's footsteps down here. Let's see, where are you? Hey, there you are. You're not supposed to hurt people, you're an EMT. There you go. Just gotta get the remainder of these wretches and we'll be done here tonight, folks. The horde has been whittled down to about nothing. Just a whole bunch of gibs now. A couple of EMTs walking around. Let's go see Ed. Haven't seen him for a bit. See how he's doing. Come here, you. I don't like you down here. It pisses me off. Whoa, he disappeared. You know what that means, folks. Victory! This land is Indianan. Oh yeah, let's just go and see Ed for one last time. Give him a high five. Because this victory is as much ours as it was his. Well, Ed, been great working with you, sir. The man, the legend. But now it's time to end it. We have survived the final wave of the police station campaign. With a top score of 30-35. Fantastic.
Hello, this is Ben Riley, Resistance Leader at Fort Piety, Indiana. We are broadcasting from the tower of the old WYRD radio station in the city center on all available frequencies. So, yeah, screw the SEC. This is a real emergency. Whoever you are, wherever you are, if you can hear my voice, do not despair. You are not alone. We have built a fortress and a safe house here in Piety. We've already held out against one of the big waves, and we are prepared for the next. We make regular sweeps through the area for supplies and survivors. If you can find your way to the town, we will find you and bring you in safe. I know it gets dark out there. I know you might be cold, hurt, hungry, or scared, but if you've made it this far, you're going to live, and we will see you soon. Until then, this is Station WYRD, and we are broadcasting live from Fort Piety, Indiana.
Oh my goodness, folks. I hope you can still hear me over the music. That poor guy at the end needs a pop filter even more than I do. But anyway, after the credits, folks, we'll be going through each one of our survivors. I'll be reading you off their descriptions. But I'll see you then.
Oh, yeah, you would. You pussy. Any other?
Yep, those are found.
Alright, folks, how about some extra content? Each one of our 28 survivors that Ben Riley saved has a little snippet that they want to share with us, so why don't we take a look at those? So the first one we have here is from Lulabelle Ashton, a 37-year-old farmer. My father-in-law came staggering in one night from the field, shying about trees falling down. I thought at first he might have had a stroke, or at least a heart attack. We tried to take him to the hospital, but the old man was having none of it. He told us he'd show us at dawn. T and I were scared, for certain, but not for the right reason. We waited for morning, dreading it, because we thought we had been waiting for the final proof that the poor Father Ashton had lost his marbles. By the time we were putting on our boots at dawn the next morning, we had already agreed we would probably have to go to a nursing home and put the old Father Ashton in there. We had no idea what we were about to see. Little Misery was the first to see it. She was woken up because we were moving around the house before dawn. The child is a light sleeper. Before we could tell her no, she had already put on her coat and boots with the rest of us to see what old Theo was saying about the fruit orchard. When she saw the trees, my daughter burst into tears, stopped in her tracks. She wouldn't take another step. Anyone could see that something had gone terribly wrong. The trees were gone, some of them had been toppled over, and others were twisted somehow. The trunks were split, wrenched into contorted shapes, with boughs that snaked along the ground or clawed up at the sky like skeletal hands. Strange tangles of ugly, poisonous-looking vines erupted from the ground all around them, spreading out in every direction. Looking at them, I couldn't help but thinking of the pictures I had seen of the zombie rot, with veins and arteries standing out in stark black tangles against pale, bloodless flesh. Father Theo had taken Misery into his arms, and now I could see that they were both crying together. His face, I could suddenly see the boy he must have been, once. A child raised in this land, who climbed the trees and loved them as they were members of the family. And even while my heart went out to him, I felt ice cold from head to toe. Shit just got serious, folks. This adds a lot more depth to the game. Next we have cute little Misery, 8-year-old student. Grandpa Theo used to have some friends in town. They had a garden, I remember, with pumpkins. The lady made her own preserves and pickles, just like Grandma used to. She had a big shelf in her garage with lots of cherries and peaches in jars. They were pretty good, but I don't like pickles. Nice and short and sweet. And now we have big old Tiberius here, the plumber, age 39. I stayed alive by staying on the move for the most part. I imagine most of us still living would say the same. Wouldn't let them herd my family into an evacuation camp in Indianapolis. Buddy of mine passed word on the CB that the National Guard was coming. We hid in the root cellar until they were gone. Tried to keep the family together, but even when the food ran out, my father wouldn't leave the land. That night, when Lula and I were camped in the abandoned barn, Misery ran away. I think she was always trying to make her way back to the farm and my father, although I can't be sure. Lula and I were searching for her immediately, but Lula was calling out the child's name so loud that she brought down more than a dozen on us. I tried to distract them so she could run. Wasn't much else I could do. By the time I could shake them and make my way back to the farm, my father had also gone. And I haven't seen any of them since. Well, we got your wife and your daughter, so that counts for something. We didn't see Theo out there yet, Ty. But maybe later. Alright, on to the Blackwood family. Aaron Blackwood, lawyer, age 46. All I can think of now is how my whole life has been wasted. God help me, I'm a grown man. I'm 46 years old. What can I do? I'm a lawyer, for heaven's sake. Who needs a lawyer at the end of the world? Those zombies don't understand litigation. They only understand brains, goddammit. Hell, I can't even fix a car. There I was, stranded by the side of the road, with everything I had packed in that goddamn overpriced Mercedes. And I was helpless as a baby. All the money in the world couldn't put that damn thing back on the road and get my wife and child out of harm's way. I never felt like less of a man in my life. Oh, Aaron, you son of a bitch. What about your father here, Algernon, 70-year-old retired journalist? I was retired 6 years when the rumors started to go around about the outbreak in Africa. Sickness and violence were nothing new, of course, but friends of mine on the international beat were already running scared. The natives were bailing out of West Africa in masses, an exodus like no one had ever seen before. They weren't just leaving, though. They acted as if they weren't coming back. They'd seen refugees before. Whole families were carrying the old, the young, the sick, the wounded, on handcarts piled with farming tools and cooking pots, all their worldly possessions. But this time, those refugees had to fight for space on the roads with panic herds of wild animals and long convoys of military trucks and tanks. Even the warlords and the soldiers, the corrupt politicians, the relief workers, were running. People walked as if they couldn't run, and crawled if they couldn't walk. Always moving east and north, trying to escape what was coming. A friend of mine fought his way through the mob to look for the truth in Cameroon and Ghana. He wound up in a mental asylum. The message he left on my answering machine was just plain spooky. It went on for 5 minutes, babbling about zombies and evil wizards and living darkness. Poor Arthur. Even I thought he'd lost his mind. But he was a better reporter and a better friend than I ever knew. He tried to give me the scoop of a lifetime. Damn shame I didn't listen. Alright, and how about April Blackwood, 31-year-old computer tech? When I was a kid, my mother used to do a lot of canning in the summer and fall. God, I hate it. The kitchen was always full of steam and the smell of vinegar and boiling jelly. There'd be cooling jars everywhere. And I always had to help peeling the apples, cutting the cucumbers, shucking the skins off the boiled peaches. When all I wanted to do was watch TV. When all winter and spring long, we'd be eating those homemade pickles and apple butter and jam, and God help us, we complained because we couldn't have the store-bought stuff like the other kids, and we felt as if we were poor. Then the end of the world came, and I lost everything. The city was on fire, I was running for my life, and I'd see my best friends die. All I could think about was trying to make it back to my hometown and find my family. If they were still alive, that is. But through it all, somehow, I couldn't shed a tear. I was like a goddamn stone. What a badass woman. Then I found myself barricaded for nearly 10 days in an abandoned root cellar, waiting for the mob of zombies to disperse. There was nothing on the shelves but 3 rows of bread and butter pickles, and a couple of bottles of homebrewed beer. It tasted like love. Every time I cracked open a jar, the tears would roll down my cheeks. If I ever have kids, someday when this is all over, I'm going to learn to make jam. You go for it, April. Go for it. All right, August. Enough tearful stories. Let's get on to yours. 42-year-old carpenter. Tom and I had been living together for almost 16 years when I realized one morning he was sick. It was sort of the thing that sneaks up on you, I guess. We had both been working hard, hardly seeing one another. Never sat down to dinner together, and we both fell asleep. We both fell into bed exhausted every night. Sometimes you find yourself looking someone up and down and asking yourself how long it had been since you've seen him last, you know? This was one of those times. Looked up from the paper, and he was standing there at the coffee maker, looking confused somehow. As if he couldn't remember what to do with the cup in his hand. But his face, God, his face, it was just so gray. Found myself thinking, dear God, he's got AIDS. We're supposed to be married, but somehow he's got AIDS, and now we're both gonna die. And now, I only wish I was right. It wasn't AIDS, it was the rot. So his lover had the rot. Now for you, Delilah, 42-year-old social worker. Aaron was always hard on Timmy. My husband never had any trouble when he was in school. He just couldn't understand why his son didn't just apply himself and get better grades. The counselor tried to explain to him that his son was actually very gifted, but Aaron wouldn't listen. Of course, they didn't come right and say he's a mechanical genius, but I always knew. Timmy could take apart just about anything, and by the time he was 4, and put it back together as good or as better than new sometimes. I can't tell how many times he'd fix the vacuum cleaner or the VCR when I would have just thrown it away and bought another one. I should have told him more often that I was proud of him. I should have stood up to Aaron more often and taken Timmy's side. Aaron was wrong to belittle all the things that Timmy could do. There's nothing wrong with doing good, honest work with your hands. Nothing at all. Have you seen Timmy? I just want to look at him again to see that he's all right. No, actually, we didn't find Timothy Blackwood, which is a damn shame. I bet you hates himself right now. Oh well. So depressing, some of these things. Can we get some good stories? Christine, are you going to cheer us up? 7-year-old student. Surely her innocence will make this better, right, folks? Alright, so here we go. Mrs. Stewart was whispering very soft. She said that we'd have a quiet mouse fire drill, and that we'd all have to pretend to be mice. So we all got in line and pretended to be quiet mice, and we tiptoed out to the playground. Then she took us to our big car, and she told us we'd all have to try and fit inside. It was a quiet sardine fire drill. So all of us squished into the seats and sat on top of each other, and we were all real quiet, except for Billy and Monica. They complained because Jimmy Patterson was sitting on them, and he was ever so fat. Mrs. Stewart drove to her house, and we all went inside to be hiding mice. She gave us some cookies and juice. And we were real scared, Mr. Riley. We were real scared. Mrs. Stewart was scared too. She was even more scared when she looked out the window and saw the monsters coming. She told us to go down to the basement and hide, and be very quiet mice. Then she went outside. I know I wasn't supposed to, Mr. Riley, but I stayed by the window and saw her waving her arms at them and jumping up and down. She was shouting, over here, so they would chase her. And then she ran away to make them follow. And that's why the monsters didn't get us, Mr. Riley. Because they ate Mrs. Stewart instead. Well, you did cheer us up. That was a noble act, at least. All right, how about you, John Chambers? 43-year-old teacher. What are you going to tell us? All I ever wanted was a good home and a family of my own. My grandmother always told me that I took after my grandfather Myron the most of all my brothers. He liked to hunt and fish, too. But even when he served in the war, he always swore he never fired a shot at anyone living. He didn't have the stomach to take human life. I can honestly say the same. I fired until I was out of ammunition. I fired until the floor was carpeted with brass shell casings. But never once did I fire at anyone living. Never once did I take a human life. Good on you, John Chambers. All right, what about your bro Ham? Matt Chambers, 48-year-old firefighter. What are you going to tell us? My parents died in a car crash when I was a child. Must have been about 9 then. My brothers were all younger. Poor Delilah was barely out of diapers. Excuse me, folks. There we go. There was no one left to raise us but Grandma Agatha, and she wasn't exactly your typical doting granny. She was the sheriff of the county back in the time when women didn't even work outside of home, let alone wear a badge. She worked 7 days a week. All of us kids were pretty much raised in the sheriff's station. Never saw her out of uniform or without a gun strapped to her hip. Can't tell you how many times I ate cold chicken at her desk, chatting with the deputies over the police band radio as they drove around their patrols. How many times... I can't even count how many times she tucked us into bed in the empty holding cells. Had my alarm clock right there. They installed some electrical outlets for us, just in case. But by the time I was 18... couldn't sleep without the police band radio on. I'd gotten used to the sound in the background. Even now, I sometimes lay awake for hours in the night because I cannot sleep. Except when Officer Riley comes and talks to me, of course. It haunts me knowing there's no one out there looking out for us. I heard the last of them die that night. The night before we lost the power station. Poor Charlie. It was calling and calling for backup that would never come, for men that were already dead. I actually considered fighting my way down to the station to get on the dispatch and tell them to get the hell out of there, to run. But there was no way. And there was no way he could hold that barricade alone. But the zombies were too thick. I couldn't get out. And the whole town was dark, or went dark, as it were. Alright. And you, Roberta, are the last of the Chambers, and you're a retail clerk, age 48. Is that? Yeah, you're the same age as Matt here. All right. It was 6 o'clock, and I was just closing down the store. You have to understand, in the business district, it's very quiet, especially at this time of day. And since the troubles had started, it was dead quiet. People were afraid to go out. And if they did, it was for necessities, not for fashion accessories that we were selling. When I looked out the front window and saw her, she was alone on the sidewalk. The street was completely empty. I knew her immediately. Well, not know her, but I recognized her. She was a homeless woman. I had seen her almost every day pushing the overload shopping cart full of her stuff down the street, rooting through trash bins behind the bakery, panhandling by the coffee shop. I remember she had a gruff, throaty voice, what my father used to call a whiskey voice. "Spare change, ma'am." Sometimes I would give her something, and she would say, "Bless you, dearie." I never knew her name, though, or where she had come from, or what happened to her. She was part of the downtown landscape, like the traffic lights or the fountain in the park. Sort of thing you never really notice until it's broken, And she just stood there. It was at an odd angle, as if something was wrong with her neck. She was standing next to the dumpster. Something told me she somehow remembered this place. Remembered that she used to do something here. But somehow she didn't know what. She stood there like a puppet hanging from invisible strings, or a robot waiting for a command. Then she turned, and she saw me. Her eyes were like boiled eggs. Let that sink in. They looked like fucking boiled eggs. Okay. So they looked like boiled eggs. But I could feel she was seeing me. But there was no recognition in her eyes. No bless you, dearie. Only hunger. Only rage. Alright. Now it's time for the family you've all been waiting for, the Dunseys, or the Dunseys, however you say it. I like saying Dunsey, it's easier for me to say. But anyway, here we have Arthur Conan Dunsey, student age 8. Did you say you were looking for tools, mister? Maybe, because I was hiding in the house last week with a big swimming pool in the back. There wasn't much food around, but there was a big closet upstairs with all sorts of stuff in it, mister. That's the best little kid voice I can do, folks. Sorry. Now, for the time I've been waiting for, and I'm sure you have too. The man, the legend, the eternal Edgar James Dennessy. Age 59, former military officer. I was born a soldier. Every generation of Dennessy family has served in this country's fine military and seen battle in every conflict since the French and Indian War. I suppose it stands to reason that my daughters and I would have front row seats to the last war this country ever fought, a war bloodier and more terrible than the Civil War, in which my two great-granduncles of mine actually met face-to-face at Manassas Junction. I think it's safe to say we lost. In all honesty, looking back, I don't think we ever had a chance. We were never trained to fight a war like this one. All the people like you, anyone who had a clear vision or an idea on how to handle the situation, were forced to fight on three fronts. There was the full-scale absolute war with the zombies, another against doctrine, a third against all the brass buttons and stuffed shirts who thought they knew better. It's hard to win when you're outnumbered 3-1, when the rot is spreading through your ranks, whether your people are bitten or not, when your supply lines are cut, when your communications are jammed, and even when the sun refuses to shine. We fought, God knows. But the way we fought wasn't the answer. I'm praying to God, Mr. Riley. Do you know something we didn't? I did know something. I knew how to bring families together, Ed. Didn't I? Found your grandson, didn't I? That's your grandson, right? Yep. And your daughter, Opal. Shame I couldn't get any of those other ones. You had a lot of daughters, sir. Alright. Let's see, who's next? Opal? Let's go ahead and scroll this shit down. There we go. Alright, so here we have Opal Dennessy, age 24, animal rights activist. Odd occupation you have there, Opal. Well, let's see what you have to say. Saving people? Well, that's worth doing, Mr. Riley. I won't deny that. And I'll do everything I can to help you. Although I'd rather see one of my sisters. You'd probably rather see one of my sisters than me. My father made an effort to teach us to shoot when we were children. Say whatever you like about the old man and his values, but one thing my father is not is a male chauvinist. If he were ever sorry that he was the father of 5 daughters, he never showed any sign of it. He certainly tried to teach us anything and everything he would have taught a boy. Still fired up from Ed's, by the way. And I was never any good with a weapon, though. Even when I was small, I hated the feel of a gun or a knife in my hands. As much as I loved him and wanted to please him, whenever I held a rifle or pistol in my hands, I just couldn't wait to put the thing down. I knew instinctively that it was a tool for killing, and I would not have any part of it. I followed in my mother's footsteps instead and dedicated my life to protecting life, specifically those lives of the animals. The animals! So when you ask me whether I've seen any people, Mr. Riley, I have a question for you. When is the last time you saw an animal? Forget wild things. There's a whole living world that instinctively runs away from us when human beings draw near. Always has and always will, Mr. Riley. But where are the animals who were our friends, Riley? When was the last time you saw a dog or a cat, a parakeet in a cage, even a fish in a bowl? The first few weeks I went from house to house, opening doors, praying to let out a trapped dog or cat that might otherwise starve. But I never even found a single one, Mr. Riley. All the houses were empty. In the end, I'm glad that They found some way to slip away, especially those goldfish in the bowls. I don't know how they did it, but they did it. They escaped Mr. Riley. But it does make me sad. I feel as if we've been abandoned somehow. Perhaps even left for dead. That's a different game. Damn it. Anywho, on to the next family, the Howard family, here with Isaac Zebulon Howard, the 86-year-old missionary. Holy shit. I think he's probably the oldest person we have. I could be wrong, though. Anyway, my wife and I spent our lives ministering and providing health care to the poor. Wherever we went, I built a small clinic and she worked beside me as the nurse. Naturally, we both tried to bring the word to the people, along with offerings of our service for health and well-being. But in the course of explaining our own beliefs, we also learned a great deal about the native beliefs of the region. Many people believe in zombies the world over. In Africa, the Caribbean, South America, there is a strong belief in the powers of black magic and the ability of evil sorcerers to enslave the dead. I had seen a few things which disturbed me over the years, particularly in Haiti and West Africa. I had put down to the power of suggestion, long hours, heat, fever, and the natural pain and doubt which any Christian must feel when confronted with so much suffering and death is only natural. Looking back, I simply am grateful that Annette passed before she could see such dark times. The end of days is upon us, son. Most of us left behind will fight to the finish against the powers of the adversary. So all very dramatic with him. And here we have Lucy Howard, who doesn't take after his father, who is this man right here. 3486. He was a very virile man. Alright, so here we go. Actually, I shouldn't say that because my father's almost 80 now and I'm only 26. Or not 26, 27. I don't even remember how old I am, folks. Anyway, on to Lucy, who is our 34-year-old boxer. Damn it, I'm losing it, folks. He's a 34-year-old boxer. And here we go. I've worked a few odd jobs over the years. Heavy labor in the fields, construction, that sort of thing. But the best money I've ever made was with my fists, my two hands. Bouncer, prize fighter, bodyguard, I've done it all, Mr. Riley. I was born big, and the Lord gave me a strong right hand. You see this one right here? When the kids and I were trapped in the barn, I just wrapped my hands in gunny sacks and beat my way out of it. You can't kill a zombie with your fists, as far as I can tell. Or at least I didn't think that until I, palled around with you, Ben Riley, and you gave me the confidence. But they can get knocked down as easily as any other man or woman. And sometimes they have a hard time getting back up. And now they don't get up, thanks to you, Ben Riley. Some people think that if you don't have a gun, you're unarmed. That isn't so. Even a child can fight if he has to. Bobby must have pushed down 3 of them on his way out the door. I always told him not to fight in school, but I've never been so proud in my life when I saw him. When he stood up for his little sister like that. When he took Jenny's hand and ran. I swear I laughed out loud. Even now I'm laughing. I felt like I had just gone 10 rounds with the devil and won. It's a good little story right there, Lucius. See, you didn't bring us down. You're a good man. All right, now for the direct son of Isaac here. He's following in his father's footsteps. He's a missionary. This man is a 42-year-old minister. All right. In the end, we tried to build a barricade to hold back the tide of the... Let me try that again. Let's do this right. Okay, in the end, I tried to build a barricade to hold back the tide of the angry dead that had surrounded the church. There wasn't much time, and we had very few tools. I don't know why I'm trying to make it sound a little Amish. I should just stop that and read it normally. But the building was well supplied, and with timber of our pews, our tables, and even my lectern were given up to try to provide some sort of defense, Mr. Riley. He's not really... He's actually sounding more Irish. I'm just gonna fucking stop. We blocked the doors and most of the windows, but simply wasn't enough. That we had no weapons, and we could not have understood how relentless the rage of the dead can be. The malignant force which animates those empty shells never tires, never sleeps, and will never stop, as long as it senses life and movement. Thank you, Mordecai, for that last note. Now we have the two Lovecrafts, a father and his son. Alright, Philip, you're an 11-year-old student. What's your story? My little brother was always, sensitive. Even when he was a baby, he always could seem to see things, to hear things, and know things he wasn't supposed to. It was weird. And he was way too smart for his own good, you know what I mean? All the other kids gave him a hard time in school. But Howard wasn't much for fighting, so I had to be tough enough for the two of us. I could look after myself pretty well in a fight, and my grandpa Jed taught me how to shoot. Just squirrels, never people, you know. You don't train for that sort of stuff as a kid. And that's why he has his rifle skill, folks. So that was his grandpa Jed taught him that, huh? Too bad it wasn't Winston. That's why he doesn't have any goddamn skills. And he's a salesman, for crying out loud. 45-year-old. Alright, Winston. What's your story? I was a traveling salesman by trade. Encyclopedias, magazine subscriptions, insurance, cell phone plans, that sort of thing, you know. I was good at my job. Never had any trouble providing for my wife and two sons. Reckon I just have the sort of face that people trust. I like to travel, and I always was good at finding my way around. Even as a kid, I memorized every back alley and shortcut around town. If I can do anything to help you, Mr. Riley, just let me know. A Lovecraft always pulls his weight. Good deal there, Winston. So that's, I guess you have good scout and good interaction because of that. Yeah, 61 interaction. Scout actually is fantastic. Very good scout. Alright, what about you, Lawrence? We're on the Mockin family now, of course. Alright, and he is a 9-year-old student. My dad used to let me work with him at the theater on weekends and sometimes after school. We would build sets together and paint them. He taught me a bit about lights, too, and trapdoors and machinery backstage. I would help him when he was doing the lighting or sound checks or all sorts of things. My dad was good at all sorts of stuff. If you're looking to build a fort, I know he can help. And that's why he has all those mechanical skills, and why Nathan, the theater director he's speaking of, has all those skills as well. You'll see all that stuff's very nice. Alright, and you're 40 years old, theater director. What's your story there, Nathan? Well, of course I'm worried about my parents. If truth be told, I'm not as worried as I am about Richie and Larry, which is fine because we found both of them, sir. So you're not worried about them anymore, I hope. Isn't just that my mother and father are old, it's the fact that they've both lived long, colorful, successful lives. My boys, on the other hand, they've never had a chance. I would like to believe someday they'll tell their own children about these stories of war like my father did, hiding in the London Underground during the German V-bomb attacks. Or at worst, they'll hide their scars and their sadness and treat this whole thing the way my mother treated that tattoo on her arm. A nasty affair, best forgotten. I just want them to live through this. I want them to see better days. Just good parents here, folks. Just really good parents. Then we have Richard Mockin, age 12 student. I saw her standing in the park when I was riding my bike home. Well, I guess saw isn't the right word. I felt her watching me. I turned my head and saw her. Saw her and knew she wanted me to see her. I knew right away she wasn't really a woman. She was dressed in all black. A long, tight dress, cut way up on the legs and way down in front. You could see a lot, Mr. Riley. And she had white skin and dark hair and these black designs all over her arms like tattoos. And a red cross sign. Well, a red sign in her forehead like a cross or something. I think she was a vampire. She could have been there, Richard. While I was looking at her, she smiled. And I swear to God she licked her lips like I was something nice to eat. I felt her wanting me to come closer. I could almost hear her saying that I should just squeeze the brake, get down off my bike, and walk over to her so she could take my hand and we would do... What would we just do things? I don't know exactly. I don't understand what things you wanted to do. I felt away from that place like the devil was after me. Who knows? Maybe he was. I've seen a lot of bad things lately, but that woman scared me worse than any goddamn zombies. She wasn't gross or disgusting. She scared me to death, but I wanted to go with her, even if she was going to eat me. I don't even know what she was promising. But I wanted to find out, you know? I still think about her. And look, just don't tell my mom about this, alright? Well, your mom may be dead, Richard, so I don't think I'll be telling her. How does that make you feel? And now we have a very interesting person here. Annie Phillips, 66-year-old paranormal researcher. So we're starting the Phillips family. Let's see what she has to say about all this. I'm well aware that people think I'm crazy. I'm used to it by now. Even when I was a girl, it was because I liked bugs and books and not makeup and boys. When I went to college, sort of a weird voice, but I'm going to stick with it. Pays off. When I went to college, it was because I fought for equal rights. And when I started to study the paranormal, they all started calling me Uncanny Annie behind my back. I did not care for it. They'd be laughing out the other sides of their mouths now, I imagine. Sons of bitches. The supernatural does exist, and it has teeth, Mr. Riley. I wish I hadn't had to do it. Penny never was never anything but sweet to me. When she was alive, that is. But she's dead and gone. Much as my brother denied it. The lives of my niece and my children were at stake. Damn it. Why am I the only person in this house who knows how to handle a goddamn zombie? Hope you guys enjoyed that. Now it's time for Lillian Phillips. I don't think I'll give her the same voice because that's very, very tiring and I'm sure it's annoying at your end. Alright, so I worked in my brother's hospital for many years as a nurse. I suppose I would have been close to retirement before these troubles began. But then so many people were sick with infected bites and black fever, I stayed as long as I could. Truly I tried, but when Penelope died, poor Whitley just collapsed. Someone had to get him out of there. The people coming in the doors, they weren't people anymore, Mr. Riley. God rest their souls, forgive me. I wasn't ready to join them. Oh, Lillian. They all have their own little stories, folks. And now it's time for Lil May, the 7-year-old student. She has a nice, cute little thing here. I'm worried about my sister Anna. She hasn't been the same since Grandma died. She thinks that it's all her fault somehow. And how could that be true? We're only children. Well, we don't know. We don't know yet, folks, because we didn't find Anna. As you'll see here, we only have 3 of the Phillips, and Anna, her sister, we don't have her. Maybe on the next run we can see what her snippet is, and it'll clear up some questions for us. Oh, we're nearing the end, folks. We only have 2 more. The Smiths, and they have a much different story than you might expect. So Tim is her father-in-law, just for reference. So Claire Smith, 36-year-old postal worker. I've been working behind a counter since the kids started going to school, of course. And back before I started work, damn it, I'm getting worse during the end. I was doing just fine at the beginning, and now I'm losing my breath or something, folks. Anyway, let's try it again. Okay. I've been working behind a counter since the kids started to go to school, of course. And back when I started working for the Piety Post Office, I was a delivery person. My route covered half the town, and I still know this place like the back of my hand. I've been walking the streets lately, just after dawn, memorizing all the new additions since we lost the power station. Changes every day, literally. Things catch on fire, things fall down, paths get obstructed. Gotta stay on your toes if you want to get the goods these days. So that's her explaining her, it's alright, her alright scoutability. I'd expect better from someone who knows it like the back of her hand. Alright, now for Tim, who has a very long story here. And he's a 59-year-old prize fighter of all things. So he's going to have an interesting story. Let's see what it is. Fanny and I were down our luck just then. Even that, without enough money to even scrape together any for gas. We didn't have enough money to get out of, well, Louisiana, to tell you the truth. That night, the farmer whose field we've been staying in came in and told me we best be moving on in a few days or he'd call the sheriff. I was desperate. I got wind of a pit match down at the old warehouse in the bad part of town. Word was the purse was for $500, with one man taking on all challengers. Just $5 to get into the ring for a shot at the money. I didn't tell Fanny what I was about to do. She's been saying for 10 years how I was too old to fight. Most of the men who fight these days were half my age. When I opened the door to the warehouse, I nearly lost my lunch. The smell right away hit me right in the face. Death. That sweet, sick smell of roadkill. Then I heard the sound and I knew, or I suppose what my opponent was going to be. There's already a man in the ring trying to fight it. The friends who dragged the poor fool here were just standing around on the sideline like ghosts, pale and quiet. This was not fun games they were hoping for. The thing chained in the ring was nearly 7 feet tall, black as midnight, and built like a refrigerator with legs. And when it was alive, it must have been one hell of an intimidating man. Now it was a monster, lurching after anything alive, the steel collar cutting into its thick neck, black ooze dripping from its teeth. One swipe of those jagged claws, one bite, and it would be the rotting death, a slow, painful death, leading to enslavement. I was already wincing when I saw the sweat on the kid's face. He had lost his cool a long time ago, and half of his brain with it. Now he was dancing on jelly legs, just trying to stay clear, even in the midst of near overpowering fear. Damn it. In the midst of nearly overpowering fear, I could tell that he was overconfident. He thought he was up against an animal, a mindless beast. But the thing was slowly herding him into a corner. Within a few seconds, he's going to be on the ropes, and once he was there, he was never coming out alive. I moved without thinking, over the ropes, into the ring, before I could ask myself why. I yelled as loud as I could, and swung the ugliest blow I've got, 2 fists locked together into a sledgehammer, into the place where the creature's spine should have been. It was like punching a side of beef. I heard my shoulder pop out of socket. Fortunately, didn't feel it. The thing turned its ugly head towards me, soft blue lips peeling back over broken teeth, and it looked me square in the eye. I saw for the first time that whatever lives inside them all, was looking right back at me. Seeing me, old Tim Smith, face to face. The bastard hated me like poison. I turned and ran, diving out of the ring just a split second before it closed in. The kid had already long gone, forfeiting his stake in his dignity. And I was done before I even paid to get into the match. But before I could leave, the kid and his friends took up a collection and gave me $60 American as they left between them. It wasn't exactly right, but oh well. It wasn't much, but it was all his life was worth. and it was enough to get me and Fanny the hell out of Louisiana. Well, folks, now that you've suffered my horrible reading, it was pretty good at the beginning. I don't know why I fell apart at the end. But we're done with our police station campaign, the easy mode campaign. Next time, we will be starting our prison campaign, which is the standard difficulty campaign, I suppose. But that might not occur the day after this is released. It might be a day or two after. Just giving you a heads up, I'm a little busy this week. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed our first run, and I hope that you'll join me for the second. See you around, folks.